Tonight, we're diving into the story of one of the most audacious heists of the 21st century. It's a tale of cunning, precision, and a man who walked away with millions in diamonds without ever drawing a weapon. This is the story of Victor Del Mare and the heist at the illustrious Grand Majestic Hotel. Our story begins not with a bang, but with a whisper. Victor Del Mare was a ghost, a name known only in the most exclusive circles of high-stakes thieves. He wasn't your typical smash-and-grab artist. No, Victor was a craftsman, a student of human behavior and security systems. For years, he had operated in the shadows, his legend growing with each impossible score. But the Grand Majestic Hotel was to be his masterpiece. The target, the celestial tear. A flawless blue diamond weighing an astonishing 120 carats. It was the centerpiece of a private auction being held in the hotel's penthouse suite. A fortress in the sky surrounded by what was considered impenetrable security. The auction was set to attract the world's wealthiest individuals, all vying for this one-of-a-kind gem, valued at a cool $80 million. For the hotel, it was a matter of prestige. For Victor, it was the ultimate challenge. His preparation was meticulous, spanning over a year. He didn't just study blueprints, he studied people. He learned the routines of the hotel staff, from the general manager down to the night shift janitors. He tracked the security team's shift changes, their patrol routes, even their coffee breaks. He knew which guards were diligent and which were prone to distraction. Victor's plan hinged on exploiting the one thing no security system can ever fully account for: human nature. He knew that the biggest threat wasn't a brute force attack, but a subtle infiltration that went completely unnoticed. So, he created his cover. For 6 months leading up to the heist, he established the identity of Mr. Dubois, a reclusive but incredibly wealthy art collector with a penchant for an extravagant lifestyle. Under this guise, he became a regular at the Grand Majestic. He booked a suite directly below the penthouse for weeks at a time. He was a perfect guest polite, generous with his tips, and utterly unremarkable. The staff grew accustomed to him. Mr. Dubois became part of the hotel's background noise, a familiar face who blended in perfectly. This was phase 1. Normalization. He was hiding in plain sight. While living as Mr. Dubois, Victor was hard at work. His suite wasn't just a lavish living space, it was his command center. He used sophisticated, custom-made devices to map the hotel's electronic infrastructure. He wasn't hacking the system from the outside. He was learning its language from within. He found a subtle vulnerability in the hotel's internal communication network, a tiny digital backdoor that would be his key. He also studied the penthouse itself. He knew the celestial tear would be displayed in a state-of-the-art glass case, equipped with pressure sensors, laser grids, and a direct line to the local police. Trying to break the case was suicide, so Victor decided he wouldn't break it at all. The night of the auction arrived. The Grand Majestic was buzzing with energy. Limousines lined the entrance, and the lobby was a sea of haute couture and sparkling jewelry. Upstairs, in the penthouse, armed guards stood at every corner. The celestial tear glittered under the spotlights, its beauty almost hypnotic. No one noticed the quiet, unassuming Mr. Dubois enjoying a quiet dinner in the hotel restaurant, establishing his alibi. As the auction began, Victor made his move. He returned to his suite, but his work had already started. Weeks prior, he had identified a maintenance worker, a man named Leo, who was struggling with debt. Victor didn't threaten him. He befriended him. He learned about Leo's family, his worries, his desperation. A few days before the heist, Victor, as a concerned friend, offered Leo a large sum of cash. Supposedly an early inheritance he wanted to share. It was enough to solve all of Leo's problems. There was only one small, seemingly innocent favor in return. Victor had given Leo a new keycard for the service elevator, explaining that his own was faulty. He asked Leo to use it just once, on the night of the auction, to access the penthouse floor for a routine check he was scheduled to do anyway. The card, Victor explained, was just a spare he'd acquired. Leo, grateful and seeing no harm in it, agreed. He had no idea he was about to become an unwitting accomplice in a multi-million-dollar heist. This special keycard was Victor's Trojan horse. When Leo swiped it, it didn't just grant access. It sent a specific, pre-programmed signal through the hotel's internal network, the one Victor had been studying for months. This signal triggered a microscopic delay in the security feed from the penthouse. For exactly 3 seconds, the live camera feed would be replaced by a looped recording from the moments just before. It was a digital sleight of hand, invisible to the guards watching the monitors. Simultaneously, the keycard swipe triggered a second device. Victor had previously gained access to the penthouse ventilation system under the guise of reporting a fault. There, he had installed a tiny, custom-built robotic arm. It was a marvel of microengineering, no larger than a pen. Activated by the signal, this arm extended from a vent directly above the diamond's display case. Now, for the genius part, the arm didn't try to break the glass. Attached to its tip was a near-perfect replica of the celestial tear. Crafted from high-grade cubic zirconia, the arm carefully lowered the fake diamond onto the top of the glass case. Then, a powerful, localized electromagnet, also hidden in the vent, was activated. The real celestial tear was held in place by a delicate platinum clasp. Victor knew this clasp, like most platinum, contained trace amounts of ferrous metals. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The electromagnet, focused with laser precision, pulled the real diamond straight up from its setting. It lifted silently into the air, clearing the laser grid, and was caught by the waiting robotic arm. The arm then retracted, pulling the real diamond into the ventilation duct, while simultaneously nudging the fake one. The replica weighted perfectly, slid off the top of the case, and dropped neatly into the now empty platinum clasp. The pressure sensors registered no change. The lasers were never broken. 21 in the room, the celestial tear was still sitting safely in its case. The entire swap took less than 2 seconds, all within the 3-second camera loop. The real diamond was now traveling through the hotel's ventilation system, guided by a series of small, pre-placed magnetic relays. Making its way down to Victor's suite, it dropped from a vent behind a heavy curtain, landing softly in a velvet-lined box Victor had placed there earlier. By the time the auction ended, and the winning bidder went to claim his prize, Victor Del Mare was long gone. He had calmly packed his bags, checked out of the hotel as Mr. Dubois, and vanished into the night. The discovery wasn't made until hours later, when a gemologist was brought in to finalize the transfer. The moment he laid his loop on the stone, he knew. The panic that erupted in the penthouse was legendary, but it was far too late. The investigation was a dead end. Security footage showed nothing. The staff remembered Mr. Dubois, but the name was a phantom. The background story fabricated. The money he used was clean, untraceable. Leo, the maintenance worker, was questioned, but he was as clueless as everyone else. He had simply used a keycard a friend gave him. He had no idea of its true purpose. Victor Del Mare was never caught. The celestial tear was never recovered. He had orchestrated the perfect crime, a symphony of deception where technology and human psychology played in perfect harmony. He proved that the greatest heists aren't about force, but about finesse. He didn't break down the door. He simply made everyone believe it was already open. And so, the legend of Victor Del Mare lives on, a ghost story told in the hushed corridors of the world's most secure locations. A reminder that sometimes, the most valuable treasure isn't the diamond, but the audacity of the mind that dares to steal it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of legendary heists, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. Let us know in the comments what you think of Victor's master plan. See you in the next video. This was just the beginning. The most mysterious and shocking crime stories are still ahead. Subscribe to Crime Flow Narratives. Be among the first to uncover what comes next.